All right, I just came up with a solution, I guess you'd say, vision epiphany. It was, I was thinking about the CDC. I know I'm a mess. Thinking about the CDC, Center for Disease Control. Finally heard it. And Center for Disease Control. And I'm like, wait a second, you know what? Let's define disease here for a moment, can we? And I've already talked about that on my website. As I was writing it, I grew on, the process, my mind was leading me. And it came down to, well, what happened was it was a conversation between me and Grandpa. And I just kind of had a realization, and I asked him, I basically comes down to, I said, Grandpa, I said, nerve signal interference is disease, isn't it? And he says, kind of smiled at me, he says, yeah, he says, but they're not ready to hear that yet. And then as I was defining things in the dictionary, there was this one particular definition. I could run it all the way down through it to where, guess what? Yeah, sure enough. And there's 3 different causes for it: physical, chemical, and psychological. But the psychological portion is split into 2 different portions, which has to do with one, what you think, and the other one is what the society around you thinks. And of course, you have to fit in. So, which of course comes down to control. Who's going to be in control? Ultimately, it is up to, well, in person, the organism God made us to be, which is independent, but society is important. But it was society, when Adam and Eve fell in tandem, that became the problem. So it has to be 2 or more that gets us out of it. 2 or more. So it comes down to a belief. You know what? Standing our ground is saying, hey, wait a second here. And if I can actually wrestle the Center for Disease Control for control of what disease is, because they're saying that's what it is. I'm all over the place, but that's what it is. I'm figuring it out. It has to do with the disease is not the invader. The disease is the inability to defeat the invader or coexist. But more importantly, that if it's a bad thing, something that kills, then the body is just has the ability to recognize it and say, oh no, you don't belong here, and that's it. And how does that happen? It happens through the central nervous system and a combination of the blood. But ultimately, it's the central nervous system that's in control. I have always been told this. It's the nervous system. That's the one that controls everything else. And what do I represent? I represent the ability to put the brain and the body back into communication where, guess what? It is what it is. And I can, we perfected it. Grandpa perfected it. And I've showed them the way I don't know how many times. I can't believe they're so stupid. They couldn't know that's who I am. Anyway, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing here. I've got a long way to go, but I think I've already got the tools in order to raise the argument.